I always thought I knew my mom. She was the quiet type, worked from home, paid the bills on time, cooked dinner every evening, took care of me and my little sister, Harper. We lived in a small house just outside Portland, Oregon, and nothing about our life ever felt particularly strange until the week after her funeral. Mom had died suddenly of a brain aneurysm. No warnings. One moment she was reading in her armchair, the next she was gone. I was 21. Harper was 15. The grief was sharp and fast and cruel. But what came after, that's what really shattered our family. After the funeral, I stayed at the house to help go through her things. Harper had gone to stay with our aunt. I needed space and answers. There was something about Mom's death that didn't sit right with me. It wasn't the aneurysm. It was what she left behind. She'd always been weird about her home office. She locked it when she wasn't inside. If I ever asked about her work, she'd just say, freelance finance consulting. Boring stuff. She didn't like when we touched her computer. Even the laptop she used on the couch had a passcode no one knew. I found that laptop tucked under a pile of blankets in her closet. It was still warm, like someone had used it recently, but no one else had touched it in days. I tried to power it on. The lock screen was a simple enter password. I almost gave up until I remembered something weird. Mom always used pet names for passwords. Our first dog, Scout, died when I was 12. I typed Scout 2007. The screen blinked. It opened. What I found wasn't a spreadsheet. It wasn't QuickBooks. It wasn't anything like financial consulting. It was a desktop wallpaper of a woman I didn't recognize, smiling, posing in front of a fancy car. Blonde hair, huge lips. The background was some kind of mansion. It looked like a promotional photo. There were folders, dozens of them, labeled with strange names. Clients, archive _ livestream 19, blackroom.zip, and one in all caps, read _ first. I clicked it. Inside was a single video file, confession.mp4. I hesitated, but clicked play.m. Why mother's face filled the screen, but not the version of her I remembered. She looked younger, makeup thick, hair dyed platinum. She was wearing something revealing, and her voice, not the usual gentle, librarian-like cadence I'd known. She sounded like she was acting, selling something. Hey boys, she cooed. This is for my VIPs only. I paused the video. My chest felt tight. I know. This wasn't real. Was it? I scrolled through the rest of the folders, opening random clips. Each one was some variation of the same thing. My mother, but not my mother. Not the woman who made blueberry pancakes on Sundays. Not the woman who never raised her voice. This woman was performing, playing a character. Sometimes she was dancing. Sometimes she was talking dirty. Sometimes she was just staring silently at the screen, tears in her eyes. It wasn't just adult content. It was something worse. Something off. I opened a file labeled blacklist_clients.txt. There were names, dates, notes. Michael H. requested underage play, banned, user, BLK_wolf77, threat of doxing. Payment denied. The collector, no further contact, stop responding. I slammed the laptop shut. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I drove straight to the public library and used one of their computers. I Googled her. Online aliases, the ones I saw in the folders. Miss Lola, Sad Sugar Mama, Oracle Vixen. And there she was, Reddit threads, dark web forums, private campsites, discussions of someone known only as the Oracle. She knows everything about you before you even talk to her. She predicts things. It's like she reads your mind. She said my brother would die. He did. 2 weeks later. Some people swore she was a scam. Others said she was dangerous. I kept digging. There were archived images of her, some clearly photoshopped, others disturbingly real. She had followers, devotees, people who believed she had supernatural abilities, people who paid her for predictions, for advice, for other things. That was the moment I realized I didn't know who my mother was. And the scariest part, I hadn't even opened the folder labeled blackroom.zip yet. Asterisk, I didn't sleep for 3 nights. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw her face. Not my mom as I knew her, but the woman on that screen. The one with the caked makeup and artificial smile, sitting under harsh lighting and whispering secrets into the void of the internet. The Oracle. My mother had been someone else. Someone I never met. And now that she was gone, all that was Left of her were fragments and a laptop, and one folder I hadn't dared to open yet. The Blackroom zip it sat on her desktop like a virus waiting to infect me. And maybe it already had. I could have walked away. I could have closed the laptop, burned it, forgotten it ever existed. But I didn't, because something deep inside me needed to know. It took 2 tries to unzip the file. It was encrypted. I ran the name Blackroom through a few password combinations, and finally, Oracle_01 worked. Inside were 6 videos. Numbered. No titles. Just 01.mp4, 02.mp4, 03.mp4. I clicked the first one. It opened with static. Then, a dimly lit room. Maybe a basement or studio. Hard to tell. The camera was static. In the center was a single chair. Tied to it was a man, mid-30s, unconscious or pretending to be. Off-screen, I heard her voice. "Mom, tonight's session is by request," she said softly. "We won't use names. Just confessions." The man stirred. His head lolled forward. His mouth was taped shut. I slammed the pause button. What the hell was this? I scrubbed through the video. The man didn't speak. He barely moved. My mother paced behind the camera, murmuring, not sweetly, not seductively, but ritualistically. She was chanting, words I didn't recognize, repeating them, a phrase over and over. The Oracle sees. The Oracle binds. The Oracle cleanses. The next video was worse. In02.mp4. There was a woman, younger than the man, shaking, crying. No tape on her mouth, just a blindfold. She begged to go home. My mother, again off-screen, asked her questions. Asterisk, do you still talk to him? Does he know where the files are? Have you told anyone about Berlin? The woman kept saying she didn't know, didn't understand. There was a sudden scream. Then static. I turned off the laptop and ran to the bathroom. I threw up. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I didn't open the rest of the videos that night. But I didn't call the police either, because there was still something else. Something I hadn't told anyone. Not even Harper. 3 days after Mom died, I got a letter in the mail, no return address. Just my name in block letters, Daniel. Inside was a printed photo, one I'd never seen before. It was of me, sitting in my car, eating a sandwich, taken from behind. The note said, "She told me to watch you." That was when I realized this didn't die with her. It was still going. The next morning, I tried calling Harper. No answer. I texted. Nothing. I drove straight to my aunt's house. She hadn't seen her since the night before. She went for a walk and didn't come back, she told me, nervously fidgeting. You don't think? I didn't answer. I drove straight home and opened the rest of the Blackroom files. Video 03 was Harper. She was sitting in the same chair, not tied, but staring blankly into the lens. Her lips moved, but there was no sound. A caption ran at the bottom. She knows now. Video 04 was different. It wasn't filmed in the Blackroom. It was footage of a park. The same park Harper liked to walk through near Aunt Linda's house. The timestamp was from 2 hours ago. She had been recorded today. That meant someone had access to the laptop, to the files, maybe even to my mom's account. And if that someone was watching me, then Harper was in real danger. Or maybe already gone. I pulled up one last folder in the Blackroom archive, buried deep in the system, behind password walls. It was labeled simply, Keys. Inside were hundreds of usernames, passwords, and GPS coordinates. Some local, some overseas, some tagged with cleared, others marked active. I opened a file named Harper_now.json. It had her name, her age, her location, a red dot on the map, coordinates about 30 miles south, an abandoned farmhouse. Underneath, one sentence. She has the gift too. The Oracle must continue. That's when I realized something sickening. This wasn't just a dark corner of the internet. It was a cult, and my mother had been its leader, and now they wanted Harper. The road to the farmhouse stretched like a scar through the woods, cracked and nearly overtaken by weeds. The air felt wrong, heavy, like the silence before a storm. I parked 2 miles out and went the rest of the way on foot, my flashlight wrapped in tape to dim the beam. It was almost midnight when I saw it. The farmhouse looked dead. No lights, no vehicles, just a rotting shell of a home that hadn't seen life in decades. And yet the front door was open. Inside, it was colder than outside. Dust coated the floors, but recent footprints disturbed it. A trail, deep heel impressions from heavy boots, leading down into the cellar that I followed. The basement wasn't empty. There were shelves with electronics, routers, hard drives, security monitors. And in the center, a wooden chair, empty. Taped to the wall was a single photo. Harper, still wearing her pink hoodie. Mouth gagged, eyes terrified. Below it, a note. The oracle has passed. She must return. And next to it, one of my childhood drawings. Me, age 6, standing next to my mother. She'd written in red crayon, "Daniel sees too." I don't remember leaving. I don't remember driving home. What I do remember is the next morning, waking up on the couch, still wearing my mud-caked boots, and seeing my laptop screen glowing. It had been accessed. There was a new video .07.mp4. I clicked it. The camera was angled low, close to the floor. I saw Harper, unconscious but breathing, lying in the black room. A new voice spoke. "Male, calm. She's not ready yet. But she will be, just like her mother." I froze. That wasn't my mother's voice. It was someone else. Someone still carrying on her work. That night, I opened every hidden file I could find. There were layers of history. Logs, names, IP addresses, session archives dating back over 10 years. Hundreds of people had watched those blackroom sessions. Some had participated. Others had paid. They believed in it. Not as entertainment, as religion. The oracle sees the darkness. The oracle cleanses the vessel. The vessel becomes the oracle. That phrase repeated everywhere. And in one private chat log, buried deep, I found something even more horrifying. User 56. Is the girl ready? Oracle handler. Soon. She's already showing the signs. User 56. She's the daughter? Oracle handler. No. She's the girlfriend. But Daniel? He's the true heir. Heir to what? I started piecing it together. It wasn't just a show or a cult. It was a network, decentralized, spread across forums, darknets, encrypted IRCs. The oracle wasn't one person, it was a title, passed down, like a torch in a dark corridor. And my mom? She hadn't stumbled into it, she'd built it. Worse, she raised me to be part of it. The videos, the drawings, the whispering voices I thought were dreams. None of it had been imagination. I went to the police. Of course I did. I brought a flash drive, loaded with everything. Videos, logs, names, GPS coordinates, timestamps. I expected them to rush into action, but they didn't. They took my statement. They reviewed the material. And then they misplaced the flash drive. When I pressed, they claimed there had been a technical issue. When I threatened to go public, a plainclothes officer followed me home that night. That I wasn't just dealing with a cult anymore. This thing went deeper than I thought. That night, I got another package. No return address. Just a key. Attached was a note. Come alone. 3 a.m. same place. Under it was a photo of Harper, awake now, crying, still in the black room. And something else, a mirror behind her. In the mirror, I saw something that made my blood run cold. A reflection of the cameraman. It was me. My hands shook. I didn't remember filming that. I didn't remember ever being in that room. But that wasn't the only thing I didn't remember anymore. For the past week, I'd been waking up with strange bruises, marks around my wrists, as if I'd been tied. I don't know what's real anymore. But at 3 a.m., I'll be there. I have to save Harper. Even if that means facing the truth. Even if the truth is that I've already become the oracle. I arrived at the farmhouse again. Same decaying walls. Same dead silence. But this time, I didn't park far away. I didn't sneak in. I walked straight to the cellar, the key in my palm, sweating. The basement door was unlocked. Inside, the chair was no longer empty. Harper was there, eyes wide, mouth taped, wrists bound with zip ties. But she was alive. I rushed forward, knife in hand, ready to cut her free, when a sharp voice echoed from the shadows. Drop it. A man stepped out, holding a gun. He looked normal, plain clothes, mid-40s, like someone you'd pass on the street and forget a second later. But his eyes held centuries. You're early, he said. The ritual isn't ready. I glanced at Harper. She was shaking her head, not at him, at me. Why are you doing this? I asked. What is this even for? He tilted his head. You know what it is. You've always known. She raised you to inherit it. The oracle doesn't die, it moves. You're insane. He smiled. Then why do you dream of the black room? Suddenly, lights flickered on. Not just in the cellar, but on every wall, screens, monitors, cameras. Each one showed me, at different ages. Sleeping, drawing, crying, talking to myself. They had been watching me my entire life. And I didn't even know. The man walked to Harper, resting a hand on her shoulder. She's your anchor. Your sacrifice. The vessel through which you pass. You'll hurt now, but soon it won't matter. I lunged at he fired. Everything turned black, but only for a second. When I opened my eyes, I wasn't in the cellar anymore, that I was standing in the black room, the one from the videos. The one I thought was a set.it was real, and I was alone. Or so I thought. From the corner, a figure moved. My mother. But not the version I remembered. Her hair was longer, her face older, more skeletal, like something that had been living too long. You made it, she whispered. I backed away. You're dead. She smiled. Not quite. Where's Harper? I shouted. She looked up at the ceiling. She's here. But only because you let her in. Just like you let them all in. I felt sick. The black room pulsed. The walls weren't solid. They were breathing. Shadows moved behind them. Faces pressed like wet clay trying to push through. You still don't get it, do you? My mother said. You are the oracle. Not chosen. Made. This place isn't a prison. It's a stage. And you've already performed. No, I whispered. I'm not like you. She came closer, her skin flaking like ash. You've already filmed 3 sessions. You just don't remember. I screamed and backed into the wall. But it wasn't a wall. It was a mirror. I looked into it. And what I saw broke me. The footage played again. Harper in the chair, me behind the camera. But this time, it wasn't a mask. It wasn't a trick. It was me, calm, focused, whispering the same words my mother once did. Let the darkness pass through you. Let the vessel speak. I dropped to my knees. Was it real? Was I hypnotized? Drugged? Manipulated? Or was the black room just a metaphor for my own mind? Did I film those sessions in a trance? Did my mother train me so deeply that I didn't even know when I became the thing I feared? I didn't know anymore. Suddenly, light shattered across the room. A siren, red and blue, flashed. Police. The door crashed in. I saw hands grabbing me. Flashlights. Voices. Then silence. I woke up in a hospital bed. Handcuffed. They told me I'd been found in the abandoned farmhouse with Harper. She was safe, shaken, but okay. I, on the other hand, had been holding a blood-covered camera and muttering nonsense. They think I'm insane. They might be right. But what they don't know is what I saw in the black room, what I remembered. They're watching me now, 24/7. They say I'm under psychiatric evaluation. But sometimes, in the reflections of windows, the dark corner of the ceiling, the flicker of the lights, I see them. The viewers, the ones from the forums, they're still watching. Still waiting. Because the Oracle never dies. It just changes faces, and I am the Oracle now. Even if I didn't choose it, even if I hate it, the camera is still rolling. The Yendi.